What is up, guys? Hope everyone's having a great Tuesday. And any of you who got the Series X or Series S are able to get on Xbox Live. A lot of issues with that arising today. Uh, if you're new to the channel, be sure to throw a like on, subscribe, do all that stuff. Let me get the right section open. I hope everyone that's joining so far are having, like I said, a good day. What's going on, Marine, Wyatt, CDAW? What's up over on D Live? We got probably some other people, but they aren't chatting. So I'd say what's up to you, but you ain't. I don't know yo names. But yeah, thanks for joining, guys. This is the second day of doing the podcast style. We'll do some live call-ins after the fact and uh, take a look at the stuff going on, talk whatever, video game, pop culture, stuff like that. Yeah, everyone loves the commercials. I love the commercials because it's just so funny to look back at, well, commercials from the 80s and 70s and see how terrible they were and how ridiculous they were. Um, but yeah, so obviously we all know the Series X launched today, and well, it's been met with some issues. And well, one of those things where you shouldn't have multiple of these situations occurring on a launch day. Now, most people who are picking up the console on launch day tend to already own it or be fans of it. Therefore, you wouldn't think that their network, would go down. That network being Xbox Live. Xbox Live goes down on launch day. Players find they can't start new games on their new console. Yes, this was that. This was this afternoon. The Series X and S launched today, and a general outage on Xbox Live this afternoon left many with the new console unable to play its games. Microsoft support team acknowledged the outage beginning at 1:01 p.m. Eastern and said they were working on it. With users unable to log into Live, some users are finding the console can't verify the ownership of a game and let them into it. The Washington Post's Gene Park reported he can't start Assassin's Creed Valhalla, for example. Oh, what did this guy have to
A
say?
message to Xbox One or Microsoft or whoever the fuck. Y'all fucking server is fucking whack, man. Y'all gonna make me switch to PlayStation if y'all don't help me get this shit fixed. It's that difficult to play somebody online. What the fuck is you doing, Bill Gates? Fix your shit, man. A message to X.
Oh, oh, Snoop a loop. Apparently, the person who bought this needs to sign in. Oh, oh. See, I'm laughing because there's always bugs on a new launch. You just wouldn't think that when your console is all about cloud-based gaming, when your console is all about um, network-based services, that you wouldn't run into this issue. This would be something easily solved and something that isn't going to happen on the day of launch. However, it apparently did. This is child's play. You have 40 million people who are, well, let's say 50 million, 50 million people who bought the Xbox One, any version of it. That's 50 million users that you should have server capacity and space for, you would think that your live service can handle this. But to have a massive outage on a day when the console is going live and to make it where the DRM software cannot determine if someone has ownership rights to play the game, it puts you in a precarious position because now you have people who are big names like Snoop Dogg, who we all just saw, coming out and saying, "Hey, hey, your shit's broken, and this shouldn't be the case. You should not be sitting and unable to connect." Now, I can understand if they got hit with the DDoS or something, but they dealt with that like Christmas of 15. So it's been 5 years. You would think that they would have their shit together, right? This is on all platforms. Xbox support tweeted out, users should now be able to sign into live on all platforms. Thanks for hanging in there while things are sorted out. Please give it another try and let us know if you're still running into issues. This was after they said, "We believe our teams are closing in on a fix for the issue. Feel free to continue trying for the time being, and we'll be sure to give you another update as soon as possible." This is 2 hours, pardon me, 2 hours, whoops, after the break and the issues they ran into. You would think that as someone who's pushing out things like Game Pass and other services that you must have internet for, selling online games, you would think that this is not something that they're going to run into. Now, if it was DDoS or one of those situations where they got their servers hijacked, understandable. But they didn't say that, and as far as I can tell and looked up, it doesn't seem like anyone has claimed responsibility as if they were the ones who brought it down, like they did around Christmas of 15. to be to be sitting back as a person who just got their brand new console and not, pardon me, be able to play is quite ridiculous. It's something that should not occur on a launch day. Scanning the services to Xbox One and 360 both appeared fine, although some connected features were slow to load. So it was just an overload of their servers because apparently all those units they sold before, they weren't built or structured to be able to handle the 50 million users, I guess. I don't know how many units the Xbox Series X estimated for sales, but let's say 4 to 5 million. 4 to 5 million cells, and they're having server issues with one of the biggest features and biggest pushes that they have, which is the Xbox Live servers. Without being able to connect to their servers, they have basically made it where anyone who purchased any games online from the console cannot use it. It's the way their DRM works. It has to be able to access the fact that they are the owner of said product. Now, they don't have offline DRM. So it's not like your license is built into your game and then you have so many days of offline play. Their DRM has to be registered online at all times. So, whereas Sony, if you go offline, you can still play anything in your library that's available and has had the check in X amount of days. So basically, you just have to log in occasionally. The difference is here they have it set for 100% DRM, which means they cannot play offline because they have to connect to RAID if the license is owned by the person. Now, do I like seeing this? No, because as much as I do lean Sony when it comes to their consoles, I want to see anyone who wants to play video games be able to do so and enjoy their time. This isn't it. This is not the way you go about it, especially when you've been pushing Game Pass, Game Pass, Game Pass. Unfortunately, Microsoft ran into a massive issue and probably, most likely, seeing from Twitter and elsewhere pissed off a lot of people. If you take a look at the level of responses in this thread, people are not too. Oh, no, no, no. Let's go to the other one. 7 hours ago. People are not too happy with this. And this is people who were Xbox One and 360 players who are running into it because of the Series X as well. So I don't know. It just the justifications, the excuses being made that it's new console day, this is to be expected. No, no, it's not. Your network is to be expected to be able to handle an influx of people. You sold 50 million units of the one, and you can't maintain that an influx of users. It's not like all those 50 million people are currently online. I know because I don't have my Xbox One X anymore. So I'm not online, but you can't sustain your network on launch day. I wonder if it was something else, if there was some other bugs. I know we talked about it yesterday, the bugs that the console was known to already have, and them putting out a hey, we have issue with these situations, and this is what's broken with the console that we know of and that we're working on fixing and patching and stuff. This just to me, and obviously when and if anyone joins the call later, I don't understand the thought process of being okay with the fact that your network goes down and keeps people from being able to use their console. Now, Forbes decided, senior contributor Eric Kane decided to do a little comparison analysis of the Series X and the PS5. Now, Microsoft has two advantages, huge advantages over Sony in this person's eyes. Now, I don't buy it. Once you hear what the two advantages are, you're gonna laugh because they aren't necessarily advantages. Um, The Series X is the most powerful video game console available today. When the PS5 launches later this week, the Series X will still be the most powerful console available today. But horsepower isn't everything, and when it comes right down to it, you may not notice a huge difference between games on either machine. At this point, things like a good TV and sound system will start to really define how good your games look. Both the Series X and PS5 will load games super fast, play games at 4K and 60 frames per second. The biggest advantage the PS5 will have over the Series X is the fact that it's going to have exclusives, such as the Demon Souls remake that you can't play on other consoles. But Microsoft has advantages also beyond horsepower. Two of the most crucial advantages the X has over the PS5 have to do with value and accessibility. Number one, all access. Microsoft's All Access program is pretty great for anyone to look to get next gen console without breaking the bank. You can purchase a Series X for $35 a month with 0% financing or a Series S for $25 a month and pay it off over 24 months with no upfront down payment instead of dropping 500 to 300 all at once or putting it on a credit card with high interest rate. You can spend the cost out over 2 years. That's a perk. That's a perk that they listed as essential reason why it has an advantage. How does, hey, I'm leasing this console, state that you're an advantage? So you can pay $35 a month for the console with no interest. Yeah, most people who can afford the consoles are going to buy it up front. Or they pre ordered it at like Best Buy or other places and put it down the minimum and then paid it off over the month that they had to pay it off. These are not advantages that you want to use or claim. This also includes, the cost also includes Game Pass, which brings us to the next big advantage. Xbox Game Pass plus xCloud. 2020 has been rough in a lot of ways, but not for Xbox Game Pass, which just continues to get better and better. There are already dozens of games included with the membership, and an ultimate membership comes with Live, Xbox Live, which you couldn't use earlier with Gold, and Game Pass for PC. Since the beginning of the year, Xbox Game Pass has expanded to include EA Play, which app wasn't workable, and you couldn't play without downloading the game, so that's not able to use. A free Disney Plus trial. Whoop-de-doo, they already give you 30 days. Oh my god, guys. You got your Disney Plus free trial when you decided to get the Xbox Game Pass. Oh my god. EA Play means you'll get a bunch of EA games like Mass Effect, Dragon Age, Madden, Star Wars, and more as part of your existing Game Pass membership. And with Microsoft's recent acquisition of Bethesda, it's only a matter of time before a bunch of the games from that studio show up as well. Meanwhile, xCloud Gaming lets you play a lot of those games, including a bunch of EA games, on your Android phone or tablet. Some games use an Xbox controller and work with touch controls. This, along with All Access, means that for 25 or 35 per month, you can get a brand new console and have access to over 100 games, including all upcoming first-party games for no extra cost. You could theoretically just not buy any games and still have a pretty impressive catalog for less than $40 a month. Access and affordability are the name of the game here. And while I think Sony's approach with exclusive is pretty compelling in its own right, Microsoft's approach has its merits. That silence there is the zero fucks given. If you're using a subscription model as the justification for selling a console, you're running yourself into a wall. Now, by that I mean, if you want people to buy your hardware, because they make a shit ton of money off accessories, and thinking of it as a business, right? If you want people to buy your console or hardware, you have to have a reason for them to buy. Now, if a person currently has a PC, they can get the xCloud and Game Pass for, I believe, $15 a month. $15 a month. So there goes the hardware argument. Why would you need their hardware when you have a PC? You don't. Now, maybe you need a controller. But let's say you have that old Xbox One controller or your PS4 controller laying around. A PC can use any peripheral plugged into it or synced via Bluetooth. So there goes the hardware out the door. Now I know Microsoft sells the software that PCs use, and that's fine and well. However, you've already paid for that software years and years ago. You don't need to update software to be able to play these. You have to have the subscription. That's it. So $15 from one person who has a gaming PC or even a PC or even an Xbox Series X. Let's say they get it $15 a month and they don't buy any games but play off of the Game Pass. What logical reasoning do you have to get studios to join that program when, let's say, you buy licensing fees up front for it? Let's say you spend, I don't know, on an older game that's, like right around launch of the Xbox One X or whatever it was, 4 years ago. Let's say you buy licensing for their game at $50,000 or $25,000 because it's an older game. You just spent $25,000 to have that on your thing. Now, let's say all the players on your console use that game and play that game. Now, there are, I believe, 20 million subscribers currently on Game Pass. 20 million people are playing that game. They didn't buy it, they didn't put money forth. How do these studios justify the cost? Now it can help with, the smaller studios and like the Fall Guys and the whatever that other one, that really fucking popular game that's kind of, I don't know, the one where you try to find the guy who's the alien or something, whatever the fuck it's called. It's PC based and mobile based. I everyone's suspect, whatever that game is. Among Us. Let's say you have those kind of games where they don't really have the well known status and they're more party driven games. You have to get people out to buy them. Hey, want to become famous? Buy followers, Prime, and viewers on blah blah blah.com. No, I don't care. Go away. Take your bot bullshit elsewhere. Thank you. Thank you. Um, it's one of those things where you're a hindrance to the market and you're a hindrance to the studio. Now, I know Microsoft has a shit ton of money to throw around. I foresee, and this is just me tossing out a prediction, I foresee this being Microsoft's last console. I truly do. Because they're not pushing the reason to buy the actual console. They have no justification, no background, no reason at all to purchase their console. Because PC players before were like, okay, I want to get myself a PS4 and Xbox One also because they have exclusives. They have games we're not going to get on PC. Now, if you have games that are on all five platforms or whatever it is, as a PC player, you're going to play on PC, right? You have the higher end graphics. You have, less. You have better response time with a mouse if you're playing a first person shooter, stuff like that. You're going to play it on your PC. Now, if you don't buy both consoles, because why? Why? You now have the capability of playing any and all of their games for $15 a month. Over 100 titles right now sitting on there, and first party studios are going to be stuck on Game Pass, whether the studio likes it or not. Now, let's say they put a first party title on there, it's not going to go away anymore. That's the one thing that seems to be what they're pushing with this, with Game Pass. Now, I think as a consumer, it's a fucking still. But I also look at things from the business aspect and look at how it's going to affect the industry. Sony has PS Now. Now, PS Now has PS2, PS3, and PS4 games on it. You can download the PS2 and the PS4 games to play offline. You don't have to be stuck playing online. And that's smart. And I believe with Game Pass, you can download too, but I believe you still have to be connected to the internet for the simple fact that if they can't verify that you're the license owner or that the DRM is yours, then they're not going to. It's not going to be the case for Game Pass, right? You can't tell me that if a studio sold a Microsoft studio, let's use 343 or whatever the hell it is for Halo. Why buy Halo Infinite when it comes out when you pay for Game Pass? You can just get it off the Game Pass and play it that way. You spent $15 for that month. Those next 4 months that you may play Halo, you're spending $60 over 4 months to play Halo. Now, let's say you only play a month of Halo and then you download something else and something else and something else. Those that value of what Halo made from your subscription has just now decreased. It's decreased by a fourth. So instead of $15 a month, it's gone down to what is it, 450 a month? This is the problem I foresee with this. Without them raising prices, how are they going to make back $7.5 billion to cover the cost of ZeniMax? How are they going to cover licensing fees for third-party games that they want to bring on, like EA Play? That has got to be a massive, massive deal that they have with EA because EA are greedy, greedy scumbags. We know that. There's no way in hell EA would say, you know what? Yeah, go ahead. Let's also take a quick glance from an external factor. What happens to those people who live in an area where Spectrum is versus people who have Comcast? Now, Comcast has started putting data caps. For those of you who don't know, they have data caps on their internet services in California now and probably elsewhere. If they're doing it in California, Comcast is doing it elsewhere. Xfinity comes with the data cap. Now, if you download a game and it's, I don't know, 60, 80 gigs plus play online, any updates, all that stuff, you hit data caps pretty quick. The value and the cost increases to have that subscription. You also have to look at it from that perspective. And so for me, I don't I don't, well, pardon me. I don't have data caps here. Spectrum Internet does not have data caps currently. And hopefully they never do because that's fucking ridiculous. If you're spending, $80 a month for, high speed internet and you have a data cap. That's that's ridiculous to me, to be quite honest. So if you have a game that you have to be online for it to check and make sure you own it, that means you have to be online. What happens if you're stuck and don't have Xbox Live? What if happens if you buy, let's say, Assassin's Creed and you don't have a way to connect to the internet? You buy the hard disk and you don't have internet access or something like that, which is a rarity, or it's rarity on the coasts and in big cities, but in more rural areas, it's a higher likelihood that you have shit internet, satellite-based internet, which has terrible download speeds. What happens when you can't connect or don't connect? Are you screwed and your Xbox has just become a giant paperweight? That's what I want to know. And these are things that Microsoft is jumping the gun with this whole xCloud thing and this whole Game Pass thing, is that they're not taking into consideration those people who are getting instituted data caps, those people who may be limited on purchasing their hardware because they can't connect to the internet. Something tells me they're going to be running into some issues with this in the near future. These This all sparked off from these 2 points that Forbes writer decided to say was massive points in Microsoft's column. And I don't think, hey, we'll do what cell phone companies do and we'll let you pay for your phone as you go. What happens with this Microsoft All Access plan if you miss a payment? That's what I want to know. If you don't pay uh, for your console or you just stop paying, do they brick your console? Do you lose? Obviously, you lose Xbox Live, right? Because you haven't paid for the service, which is part of that. But what happens with the actual console? Now, if your DRM can't access the internet and you can't use Live, then you can't play the games. So essentially, your console does become a brick. As for Game Pass, I already explained my logic with Game Pass. I think for consumers, it's a nice thing. I think it's a good thing. But as a business model, I don't think it's sustainable in the long run. They would have to get it over. They would have to get Sony to agree to bring Game Pass as an app onto their consoles, and I have a feeling Sony would charge them an arm and a leg for that kind of access. I truly do. Because it wouldn't be hard to program an app for the PS5 or the PS4 and have it be able to access external servers. Final Fantasy 14 has that. Their service does not need PS Plus. All you have to do is have your monthly subscription paid for Final Fantasy 14, and you can access it through your PS4. So you don't even need their network or their multiplayer based service. Ooh, sorry, I went on a long tirade about that shit. It bothers me because I have a feeling like it's going to be a huge shift and it's going to totally, totally screw over. And basically, you're going to see studios fall, and these small studios won't be able to maintain it. Let's move on to the scalpers. For those of you who don't know, it was next to impossible to get a day of console today for the Series X. And people already had their pre-orders for 900, $1,000 on eBay. Xbox Series X scalpers are already selling consoles for $1,000. That's right. Series X is finally out, and scalpers are already selling the new console for over 1,000 on sites like Amazon and eBay. Anyone that's closely followed a new console launch know that scalping is an unfortunate side effect of the demand. The Series X was a tough console to pre-order back in September when pre-orders went live across all the different sites. Sites were crashing all day and the consoles were sold out in a matter of hours. Yeah, that's because they told everyone when the consoles were coming out and what time they were going to go live. So these people who are very good at programming a bot to go and scrape the internet and different stores and buy them. That's why they had issues. That only increased the demand for the console, and now scalpers are trying to cash out on the demand by selling the console for well over the standard price. Yeah, no shit. Of course they're going to sell it over standard price. Supply and demand. If the supply is zero and you were able to grab two consoles, one for yourself and then one to sell, why wouldn't you try to sell it for double the value and then basically have a free console? You essentially paid off both consoles right there. Showing below, Amazon 875. Holy wow. $1,600, 1689 used like new. Why in the hell would you list it used? Are you planning on opening it? 1693. You can see what Amazon looks like for those trying to get a Series X ordered today in the above screenshot. The site is no longer selling it from their own warehouse, but third-party sellers are selling the console from there. There are, of course, free to make the price whatever they want, which is why you're seeing it at as high as 1693. Well, yeah, and again, supply and demand. If the demand is super high and these parents who were lazy or missed out on the opportunity to pre-order, they want to get that for their kids for Christmas. A lot of parents will scoop up and eat the price. Parents with money will deal with it because they want to make their children happy. Amazon is not unique in this dilemma. The console is listed at 800 and higher on eBay. The prices on the latter retail site haven't gone as high as Amazon's secondhand pricing just yet. Meanwhile, Xbox and retailers have confirmed that more units will become available at launch in the weeks to come. Here's where to pre-order when they come back online, how to find it in stock. So basically, hey, don't buy this game. God of War, bro. Sorry, we gotta. Oh, well, I had to pick. There we go. Let's see. Which game we hope is coming in 2020 are you excited for? And look at that. God of War, 40%. That's insane. Not even, not even Halo pulling out that 17.5. Oof. More on scalpers. Scalper bots shake down desperate PS5 and Xbox Series X shoppers. Retail bots are helping scalpers scoop up the PS5, Series X inventory and charging massive markups. It's been a week for gamers across the globe with imminent dueling releases of the X and the PS5. However, an army of retail bots threaten to drive prices up as much as 3 times the retail price, putting the coveted holiday gifts well out of the reach for everyday fans. Retailers were quickly cleared out of Xbox inventory on release day. Best Buy sold theirs out, priced at $4.99. There were plenty available on eBay though, within price tags more than double the price. Some of them marked over 1,000. The PS5 also at $4.99 doesn't come out till Thursday, but there were several pre-orders already listed on there for around 900. And experts suspect scalpers will be able to snatch up consoles on release day, just like Xbox, and mark them up. Yeah. Again, I hate to tell you, if you're smart and you can grab two and then you end up slinging it and you end up with a free console, essentially, don't be surprised when people do that. Bot bots are what's pushing this through. Making these high-tech hoarders hard to stop is that what they're doing isn't actually illegal. Uh, for Sequence Security, Jason Kent, there are components of these transactions that border on fraud or actual fraud, but in standard bot purchasing, the bot simply enables the transaction. Since most retailers have built their environments for high speed and high volume transactions, the bots are actually supported by the environment that is trying to keep them out. The effort to build a retail store that delights customers and enables transaction plays right into the bot creator's hands. Kim pointed out that these bots are acting similarly to the type of bot driven DOS attacks that retailers combat regularly. And he added that applying artificial intelligence and machine learning are effective tools to combat these superpowered scalpers, even if they're attempting 50,000 transactions per second. Jesus. Aside from AI and ML, even a simple CAPTCHA would go a long way slowing down resellers from scooping up large swaths of the consoles. According to Alan Liska, solutions architect for Recorded Future, he added that this is a problem other industries have been more successful at solving. Video game console retailers could take a page out of sneaker sellers who have been dealing with this problem for years. Whenever there is a limited supply of a product for sale on the internet, retailers have to deal with bots. So adding a CAPTCHA would be the one the similarity, and you also see this in the concert industry. And I worked with a buddy of mine, and we would go out on launch, like when tickets would release, and buy up a bunch, as many tickets as we could get for high end concerts. His dad had a brokerage, and I made money doing that when I was in my teens and freaking early 20s. Wait at the local place where you can buy tickets from Ticketmaster and elsewhere, and then sling them back to people who his dad basically would, you know, keep in touch with clients and stuff as they were coming into the state and elsewhere and other states in the area that you can buy for. And they would say, okay, I'm looking to get, I'm going to be out in the area X day through X day. I notice uh, this concert and this person's playing in the area. So we would go out and try to get tickets for it. We get as best as possible, and then they would sell them accordingly. Hey, it's called supply and demand. It's not rocket science. If you want to beat it out, sit your ass there and wait. I had to wait. Everyone else has to wait. Last spring, it was Birdbot that grabbed headlines along with the Virginia teen behind it, who used his time during quarantine to write code that allowed him to cut retailers' digital lines. Birdbot, the Washington Post reported the high schooler named Nate was able to buy enough Nintendo Switch consoles to create a global shortage. Birdbot also proved effective at scoring sneakers like Yeezys picked up for 200 and was able to resell for 600. Nate bristles at the suggestion he did anything wrong. Some people were calling me a scalper. It's just basic supply and demand. I I'm I 100% agree. I don't I don't see it as them doing anything massively wrong simply for the fact that they have the capabilities and ability to put it together, write a code, and try and get their hands on the item. I don't see anything wrong with that in my eyes. So I'm going to take 2 minutes, refill my coffee. Been going for about 45, 50 minutes, and then we'll come back. We'll take some calls if anyone wants to. I know we don't have many viewing right now, but if you are here, be sure to share it out. Throw a like on your way out. I'll throw on some music, and we'll come back and do calls shortly. There is one more thing I do want to talk about before we take calls and do that, and then we'll talk about that and get back into it. Alrighty, let me get some music up. I'll be right back. What's up, guys? Thanks for hanging out. We are back. No, I'm back. So, there is one more thing. Since we did cover it yesterday when it came to Assassin's Creed Valhalla, I don't mind. I want to keep sharing cool things I find with you guys. Now, for those of you getting a PS5, I highly recommend you take advantage of this. This is currently through December um, 6th, I believe. You can get Assassin's Creed Valhalla on Amazon for 49 bucks, right? However, if you see right here, coupon, add savings of an extra $9.95. So for $39, you can get Assassin's Creed Valhalla on PS4, which, as most of you can read, comes with a free upgrade to the PS5 edition. That's right. You can get the PS5 version for $39. I was looking through different deals because I'm really interested in this game and I definitely want to pick it up. Sicko picked it up on today, downloaded it off of PSN, and this by far is a steal, to be quite honest. I don't know how much the digital version costs on the PS4 right now, or if they have any kind of deals, if it's 49 bucks or whatever the case may be. It's probably 50. But if you purchase it and grab it with the coupon, you'll save an additional $9.95. Now, I believe the details on this, let's see what it says. Um, that's it. You just add it to cart. That's it. Essentially standard, hey, we only allow this certain times. Now, you can get fast next day shipping from Amazon and stuff. The PS5 version is $49, but it doesn't have the coupon. So what I recommend, even if you do not currently own a PS4, I highly recommend, if you're going to be buying a PS5, to grab Assassin's Creed Valhalla. This way, with the coupon, you save $20 off the game. I was just looking through random stuff online and random deals when I was searching the game, and that's what I came across. There seems to be a push for games that are launching right now, and essentially to get you that heads up. There you go. Xbox One is not discounted in any manner. The PS5 will come out on the 12th, but I would definitely go with the PS4. Digital is only available for, yeah, it's physical for the PS4 edition. So since we were talking about Assassin's Creed yesterday, I figured I'd share something I caught on and saw. So if you're looking to grab it, I've heard really good things about it, and from what I can see on the ads, I'm gonna go ahead and keep that open to remind myself to grab it that way. Uh, I believe some issues, but major jolts open world formula make this fun. Before I go into everything about Assassin's Creed Valhalla, the writing, the action, the open world jank, I want to offer an unusual preface. Uh, Gosh, I like this game. It's a rare, earnest turn for me, especially when talking about an open world Ubisoft games. I try to be fair and balanced way to talk about their hours of gameplay, and I respect the heck out of how their multi-studio teams slam together so many moving parts into a giant playable romp. But personally, I can get bored with them. Some fetch quests, some ho hum mechanics, playlists, etc. Yet the Assassin's Creed series has been evolving into Valhalla shape for some time, which we saw the character driven surprise of Odyssey. This year's model is undeniably messy and imperfect, and it doesn't surpass Ghost of Tsushima as my favorite open world, but it earns recommendation a more RPG like Assassin's Creed implies. Um, Basic drill: any older AC reviews in short order. You control a chosen warrior in the open world historical era, dramatized for the sake of the game. You're occasionally interrupted by modern day plot about researchers who dive into ancient warriors' DNA to wage war against global generation deep conspiracies. Offers wacky plot hooks, etc. But mostly you're back in time, juggling a mix of open world traversal, stealth, crawling mechanics, massive historical sites, and all kinds of murder. Formula continues in the ninth century England. Oh, that's pretty cool. You play as Ivor, a high ranking warrior in the band of Norse Vikings. The historical angle obviously means more beards, axes, and mentions of Odin than before, which I can get down with. But the plot also hinges on the real life immigration of Viking bands to begin new lives in other nations. This does something new. It creates a home base. Oh, he played as the woman. Ivor is the girl. Of course, he played as the woman. I'm sorry. Always gotta be the woman. Uh, uh, sure, growing your home settlement amounts to a glorified menu system. Gather enough in-game resources to build a fishery, for instance. Okay, so it's got something similar to the gameplay of, let's say, Fallout 4 settlement building. Other buildings do everything from adding cosmetic options, quest lines, home bases found in older entities of like Assassin's Creed 2. This one has much more personality, brand new game features, and you didn't have to wait so long for Ubisoft to toy with these concepts again. It's nice to have a hub that always welcomes your hero, full of town specific NPCs, past adventuring companions, and it fits into the game's expanded emphasis on narrative. Side quests. Dialogue is meaningless without enjoyable game attached. Valhalla gets enough right to keep you mashing away your controller for dozens of hours. Much of that boils down to the open world formula, but I was surprised by the way one major tweak to the game's played out: emergent missions. Your average on foot horse march or long charge through the Dark Ages will include some organic interruption. Ubisoft knows where you're likely to go in terms of valleys between massive mountains or direct paths between primary objectives, and uses it for visual and audio cues to nudge you toward passerbys in need of help. There's nothing new in the genre, but such an interruption dumps some new quests and list of objectives. Okay, see that's something that they took from the winning formula of what was Ghost of Tsushima. The person in need, the someone comes along your path as you're moving. Instead, the people you meet along your path are one and done requests, which is cool. Which you complete in the vicinity, you find them. If you run past a crowd of children while holding two axes and looking determined, those children will lose their mind. Uh, and ask you to play with them. Sometimes this makeshift game of hide and seek. Fight wooden dolls staged nearby. Okay, I can get with that. So it looks like they've added some new stuff into it to add a little bit of a mix. I'm definitely interested in this for the simple fact that I've always liked the Assassin's Creed series. I think that the historical aspect of it, and of course, some changes. Like a lot of people didn't really like Assassin's Creed 3, but I loved it. I thought Assassin's Creed 3 was great. I liked that it was set in the colonies. I liked that it took place with what was going on in the world at the time, and to see like their twist on Templar influence, the stonemasons and stuff like that, and the Masonic stuff was pretty freaking cool. To have a game bring America into the relevance of what is iconic when it comes to Europe is the fact that they have a long history and they have massive, amazing structures from the Middle East all the way up to uh, Russia and the England Islands and stuff like that. So it seems nice to see a American take on that when there was nothing massive at those times. There were no massive cathedrals, and the country was just taking form. It's a nice little was a nice little take on it, and I did enjoy it, and a lot of people hated it, but I myself thought it was great. And that's where those kind of games really were fun to me because, as we talked about yesterday, time sink. Now, a lot of people don't want to spend hours upon hours hunting and grinding and looking for things and trying to find things. Me, however, I enjoy the side quests. I enjoy the subplot stuff and the going out and finding, these kind of things to upgrade your characters and stuff like that. So, games that give plenty of playtime increase the value of a $60 title. So I'm definitely looking forward to this. I'm probably going to take advantage of that deal. I might have Sicko use his Amazon Prime for me. Just shoot him $40 and get it on Amazon Prime. Because that's a steal, especially since it will come with the PS5 version as well. So definitely a huge benefit. If you are in the Discord, let me jump in there. I haven't jumped into the show room, but pardon me, if you are in the Discord and would like to join the call, feel free to jump in the call and waiting room. If you're a mod in the Discord, feel free to jump in the live show room. Now that I'm in there, we'll bullshit and talk. Anything we talked. I'd be curious to see some of your guys' takes on network issues with a brand new launch and scalpers and whatnot. Pardon me while I take a Tums. Just got gnarly ass heartburn out of nowhere. We'll throw down. I'm gonna throw this down. Throw. The fuck is that? I'm not trying to call you. Why? Hello? Hello? Gotta find that freaking. That's some really good mixes that I used for. Here it is. Put this on background while we're waiting and seeing if anyone wants to jump in. But I can ask, be sure to share it out. Throw a like on the stream while you're here. Like I said, we're trying to do these on the regular a little more. I got to get Sicko more involved with these. I'm going to get our buddy Chevy involved in these. And basically just, enjoy talking some video games and other stuff versus worrying about what's falling apart in the world today. It's a nice mix and a nice change. I'm gonna make sure I keep open that Assassin's Creed deal so I don't lose it and don't miss out on it, because that's a fucking steal. Especially since that'd be a great game to play over on PS5 or even PS4 and stream it. Sorry, I glanced at Twitter. You gotta love glancing at Twitter. What the fuck? Jesus. I gotta I gotta do some Twitter like conversations on the other channel, man. I know it's basically ripping blow Bo Black's shit off, but Jesus Christ, there's some funny ass things that I come across on Twitter. Especially when it's like, hi, if you're seeing this, please retweet this so I can secure funds for my. I don't care if you're pro, I am pro. You won't change my opinion, so don't try. Thanks so much. Someone started a GoFundMe to get a certain situation resolved because they made a mistake. I won't dig deeper and won't say it. I'm sorry, but if you gotta do that, I have advice. Stop trying to procreate. I'm sorry. But yeah, so I was looking at some of actually, you know what? I want to pull that up. I wanted to show you guys this. This was there was some curious shit, to be quite honest, going on Twitter today with the what's it called? The Xbox Series X. Saw some pretty interesting video and different things to point to and basically talk about, because I forgot all about them. I was going to bring it on. There's people whose consoles are bricking out of the box. Now, I don't know. Part of me says you might want to be careful when you're buying a new system. Let me get that set. Let me pull that up while we're looking here. Where is it at? Chrome 2? Chrome 2. There we go.
X, and I have no idea what to do. So here it is. I hooked it up. Everything seemed fine. And now I've been stuck on this screen for about 10 minutes. I can move the cursor around, but I can't sign in. I can't do anything. I can pull up this menu that says, hey, do you want to do stuff? But everything's grayed out. I tried shutting the console off at one point and turning it back on, and it blinks here for a bit, and like the screen sort of powers down, but it sort of doesn't. God dang it. I sure hope that this gets fixed. But what the F? If I have the worst luck ever, please just work. Just work. I paid $500. I don't want to have to try and return you. Please, just work. X, and I have no idea what to do.
Oof. I'm going to unplug it and go eat some lunch, come back, maybe something, it's just not powering up right. Just being that Microsoft servers are getting hammered. Yeah. Poor guy. This isn't the only one that I saw today of people having issues. Apparently he got it to work. Okay. So it got working. Oh, so this was in relation to the servers. So this is what it looked like if you weren't able to log in on your console. It just sat there loading. Okay, so I got it working. The Xbox Live servers are crashing. Xbox X can only turn on the first time by connecting to those servers. Had to spam log in for 30 minutes while eating a Hot Pocket, but it finally let me into my $500 console. Oof. So yeah, so there's that. There's others I saw, but basically they were running into the same issue. So it wasn't a bricking issue. it was pure and simple a issue with the servers. But I mean, you got to look at that and think, hey, this is shitty. If I can't get on, if I can't log on for the first time, okay. See, that's another thing I don't understand. In order to log and get on to the Xbox One X, you have to connect to the internet for the first time. I don't know if Sony does that. I know the PS4 didn't. That to me, quite honestly, seems like a bad call. The fact that you do have to log on and connect to their servers for the first time. That limits it for people who have no internet. And I guess it goes back to the same mentality the One X had when they said, "Hey, if you want to play on a console that doesn't have internet or need internet, go play on 360." I don't know. To me, it seems like a not so smart. But yeah, so Xbox running into their own issues. I think people need to be informed about these things, and it wasn't something they obviously told people that they would have to log on initially, because what happens if you buy it as a gift as a parent and you know nothing about gaming or anything like that. You just know your kid wants it, and you don't have internet access or something else. You're putting consumers in a position where they pretty much don't they pretty much don't want to buy your console because you have to have internet. And that's limiting for those who don't necessarily have internet. And I know that's a rarity, and that's a small thing. But I think it's something that needs to and should have been informed to consumers instead of basically just let happen. Because clearly this person has internet, they just couldn't connect. And yet they don't tell people that you must connect for the first time. It might be in some small note somewhere or some frequently asked questions, but what parent is going to investigate or look at the console before they purchase it? All they know is their kid wants it, Seems like pretty shit situation. Sorry, I got distracted. I received a text, so I was responding to that. Pardon me for that, guys. But yeah, so I would be wary and keep your eyes open for situations like this that occur. I think we're gonna hold on one second. I gotta check something. Got here. Oh yeah. I had to pull up something real quick. I was trying to find it, but I can't find it. I will say this, guys. I have been putting out and doing some tutorial style videos. If you have anything you would like a tutorial guide on, or have anything that you think would be a good pull for this channel, whatever console, it doesn't matter. As long as I can gather the information. Obviously, PS4, PS5 consoles are going to be the easier route to go, and some PC games. But if I could gather, screenshots and actually do some investigation and stuff, and dive into them, I would more than willingly work on some of those. But if you think of anything you'd like tutorials or anything like that done on, please feel free to let me know. We'll be continuing to do some of those here. I did one for trails, of course. So I know a lot of you who've been following and watching this have picked that game up upon my recommendation. I might go over the first one and do some advice pieces and stuff for that, because it has it definitely has been things with that because that game is got a pretty steep learning curve for those of you. And since I have all of them, I can throw it on real quick and basically be able to throw together a quick walkthrough for you guys. Instead of just you hunting and trying to figure things out. I do want to check this out. Did come across something that might be of interest. Okay, cool. All right, we'll check this out, and then we'll probably call it for the night. Well, not the night. We'll be back. We'll be back on to play the game later. Bright Memory Series X. I love pop-ups in games. Let's see what this is.
Look at all that pop-up. Bright Memory. Great way to start out my Xbox Series X.
What's Bright Memory?
Ah, fuck.
Is he talking about all the
Look at all that
on-screen shit? What the fuck is Bright Memory? Oh, this is that must be a game. Yeah, that is taking up a lot of space on screen. It doesn't look bad, but that's a lot of pop-up. Taking up a lot of screen space. It's interesting. Well, who knows? But yeah, I came across that. I was like, what the hell is this? I didn't know what Bright Memory was. Apparently, that's the way you... it's its guidance system, maybe? Apparently. So, but who knows? Again, guys, appreciate you guys hanging out. We'll be doing this through the next few days. Trying to do some news and, conversational. As we build this and as the audience gets larger for this, we'll do call-ins and stuff like that as well. Be sure to throw a like on your way out. Be sure to subscribe. We are 8-Bit Hooligans. We appreciate you guys. Peace out.